As I stated in a previous video, my talit or prayer shawl is something that is personal and it would never be something shown outwardly. However, there is something beautiful and encouraging that I would like to share. I was looking at my prayer shawl one day and I was thinking to myself, I need to wash it. And then I began to think how I was going to wash it. I knew I was going to be delicate with it, washed by hand to keep its vibrance. That same night, May 28th, 2023, this was the dream that the Lord gave me. Yeshua of Nazareth, Jesus, Messiah, Savior, appeared to me. He was washing my Jewish prayer shawl. He smiled at me and said, "Now forgive others as I have forgiven you." That concludes the moment. At that time, there was an issue going on with me and forgiveness. And whatever it was, I do not remember because he cleansed it. But I was struggling in that area. I know what it feels like to feel as if you are always in a position where you have to forgive someone. And at some point you begin to think, I have to protect my heart. And you want to kind of you want to guard your heart, which is actually biblical to guard your heart, but it's not biblical to hold a grudge within your heart. But when Jesus said, "Forgive as I have forgiven you," it put everything into perspective. Because how many times have I cried out for his forgiveness and received his mercy and been covered by his grace? Remember the parable Jesus shared about the man who had a huge debt to pay that he could not pay. So the man that he was indebted to was going to sell him and his family. The man pleaded and begged and said, "Just give me time." So the man he was indebted to felt compassion for him and he forgave the debt and just let the man go. This same man who had his massive debt pardoned refused to pardon a much smaller debt that was owed him and had that person thrown in prison. When this news got back to the man he was indebted to that pardoned his debt, that man was furious. And he had him thrown in prison because he showed no compassion when he was shown compassion. And Jesus concluded that parable by saying, "And this is what will happen to those who do not forgive their brothers and their sisters from the heart." We do guard our hearts. Proverbs 4:23 says, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." So we guard our hearts to keep it from being contaminated, but we also forgive to keep it from becoming bitter. Ask the Lord and he will give you the help that you need in those areas that feel the most traumatized. When he steps in, healing will come out of your forgiveness. I pray that God removes any bitter root, cleanses out all unforgiveness, completely eradicates any kind of grudges, and causes us to be as soft-hearted and as forgiving as he is towards us. And for those who have been traumatized and wounded deeper than what's normal, the healing is still light work for God's Spirit. He can and will go into the deepest wound and cleanse. He can do an inner healing to the point you have a vague memory of what hurts you. Release and give that burden to God. God bless, love, and forgive us as we bless, love, and forgive others.